Hello, Mary C. Williams Redhawks. This is Miss Britt here. I'm going to go over your lesson for today, and you're going to follow along as we go over this, and then tomorrow you are going to do your independent work, okay? So this is lesson 14, understand what a fraction is. Think it through. How can we describe equal parts? So that's what fractions are. Fractions are equal parts. Very important to know. Fractions are numbers that tell about equal parts of a whole. A fraction is named by the number of equal parts, the number of equal parts. And that is our denominator, right here, our denominator. That is the number of equal parts. 1 of 3 equal parts is 1/3. When you have 1, right here, 1 out of 3, 1, 2, 3. When you have 1 out of 3 equal parts shaded, it is 1/3. So you have your denominator tells you how many total pieces that you have. You have 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Your numerator tells you how many of those pieces are shaded. So we have 1 that is shaded out of all the parts that there are, which are 3. Now, something else that's super important for you to always remember, we said it up here, but I'm going to say it again down here. Fractions always show equal parts. There's never going to be a time where the parts are not going to be equivalent or equal to one another. To use a fraction to tell about the parts of a whole, all of the parts must be the same size. That means they must be equal, same size. Think about sharing a cake with some friends. You cut the cake into pieces that are the same size so that it is fair, so that things are equivalent and so that it is fair, because when you're dividing something up, you want it to be fair for everyone. So here we have 2 images, image 1 and image 2. Which one of these, circle the model that shows equal parts? I'm going to give you a second. Which one of these images shows equal parts? And hopefully you can see the lines. And I'm going to try and trace over them. Doing the best I can. Whoops, a daisy. All right, so if you couldn't see the lines before, hopefully that made it a little bit better for you. There you go. And you would be correct if you said, change my pen color here. You would be correct if you said that this is the one that we should circle. Absolutely. There are 6 equal parts. These parts are called sixths. Each part is 1 out of 6 or 1/6. So each part is 1 part. Whoop, it's not going to let me write. There we go. Is 1 part out of the whole thing. So part out of the whole. So there's 1 part out of 6 whole pieces. So the whole thing is made into 6 parts. Over here, these parts are not the same size, so it's not equivalent fractions. So we can't call it 6 because they're not equal pieces. All right, let's keep going. All right, So we're also going to go over page 159 today. We are going to think about unit fractions help us understand other fractions. So a unit fraction, very important. A unit fraction is any fraction that has a 1 as your numerator. So in this case, the numerator, or the number on top, is a 1. Because it is a 1, that means that this right here is a unit fraction. So 1/4 is a unit fraction. It names one part of a whole that has 4 equal parts. There are other unit fractions. Any fraction can be a unit fraction if it has a 1 on top, like 1/6, or we could have 1/100th, right? So any of those could be unit fractions. If you know the name of one part of the whole, you can count to name more parts of the whole. So if you know that this is 1/4, then this part would be 2/4. Well, this part would be 2/4, and then 3/4, and then 4/4. So if you can name the unit, or the first one, which is 1/4, then you can name all the other parts in that fraction. Look at the rectangle below. It has 4 equal parts. Each part is 1/4. Each part is 1 unit, or 1 part, or 1 piece out of the whole. So each one of these is a unit fraction. 1/4 plus another 4th plus another 4th. This rectangle has 3 parts that are shaded. Because it has 3 parts that are shaded, 3 1/4 is the same thing as 3/4. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And then this little bracket right here, I'm going to delete that. This little bracket right here, this is called a bracket. This little bracket is just letting you know that from here to here, from this tip to this tip, is the whole thing. So one whole. And then you have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 that are shaded. So that means that this is 3/4. All right. When you count the shaded parts of this rectangle, you say 1/4 for this one. You say 2/4 when you're counting here, and then you say 3/4 are all 3 pieces. 3/4 of the rectangle is shaded. You can also model unit fractions on a number line from 0 to 1. So this number line is labeled from 0, which is the starting point, to 1 whole, right there, from 0 to 1. Make that a little bit smaller, from 0 to 1. So each tick mark represents 1/4. A tick mark on a number line are these little lines. This is a tick mark, tick mark, tick mark. Those are tick marks. And each one represents 1/4 of the distance. So I'm going to change my pen color again, because I like to use different colors. So what that's saying is that from, it won't let me get too close, from here, from 0 to that point right there, I'll draw this one all the way, that right there is 1/4. From here to here is 1/4. Now we put the label for 1/4 right here. okay? But from, use another color, from, edit undo, from here to here is another 1/4. But if you add this part plus this part, what do you think goes here? If this is 1/4 from 0 to that point, what would be this pink color? If this is 1/4, and you add another 1/4 to it, what would go here? Perfect. 2. That doesn't look like a 2. 2. Fourths. Perfect. So this part right here would be 2/4. And then as we keep going on the number line, we would have from this point to this point would be another 4th. That's another 4th, but because you have 1/4 and then another 1/4, then that makes this 2/4, and then you have another 1/4, and so then it's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and your labels still go at the tick mark because it takes this whole space right here to equal 3/4. And then last but not least, you have that last space. That last space from here to here. From here to here. And this is your last 1/4. So we go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then this is, yes, 4/4. And 4/4 is also known as 1 whole. Perfect. 4/4 is also known as 1 whole, which is labeled right there as 1 whole. A little arrow. 1/4 is also known as 1 whole. So this says, since each length is 1/4, the third mark is 3/4. So you would have your first, so starting here, no, from there to there is 1, 2, 3/4. So that would be your 3/4 spot right there. All right. So now we're going to talk about this right here, and I want you to send me your answer. Okay, so you're going to send me your answer through Google Classroom. Mike draws a long rectangle. He wants to color 3/8 of the rectangle blue. So he's going to draw a long rectangle, and I suggest you make a long one too. A long one. Woo! That was not good. My finger slipped. All right, so make a long rectangle. You can do this on paper. You do not need to print this page out. You're going to draw a long rectangle, and he wants to color 3/8 of the rectangle blue. How many equal parts should he make? So you're going to show me how many equal parts that he has, and then what fraction names each part, and how many parts should be colored. So you'll draw it, you'll shade in 3/8, and then you'll tell me what fraction names each part. You can also draw it and make a video and post it on your Google Classroom. All right, my friends, let's keep going with the schedule today. Thanks so much.